Trading involves substantial risk loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I see. Okay, well, we have an interesting market. The E-mini moved up a little bit overnight, and then it moved down a little bit overnight. Wait. What am I doing? Okay, moved up a little bit, moved down a little bit. And Treasuries, for the most part, moved down, moved up a little bit. But, I was looking at this 2619, 2620 area, and they closed just barely above it. And now they're opening just barely below it. So it kind of seems like my longer term thesis is possibly still in play. But we do have some news, so let's just see what happens, I guess. Let's get into it. Let's grab the links. Oh, that's that video. It's a good video. You should go watch that video. So I went and posted that on Reddit, and the only comment that I got on Reddit was that I blinked too much. I'm like, what the fuck? I post this great video. Y'all should be super excited for futures, for micro futures, micro equity futures. And the best that you morons can come up with is that I blink too much. Really? So now I'm just thinking, they always say that 90% of day traders fail, and why is that number so high? Well, I've decided that it's because probably about 50% of those people are just outright stupid. That's what it is. It's got to be that, guys. There's no other explanation. It's got to be. All right. Well, anyways. Where is my calendar? Okay, so we've got, in addition to unemployment claims, we got import prices month over month, which is an important number. Looking for 0.3% versus a previous month of negative 0.5%. And I don't know if this is going to seriously move. I'm glad that you enjoyed that little rant there, Smoking Pips. Anyways, I don't know if this news is going to be super significant or not, but the market to me still looks pretty thick. I mean, they're still putting a lot on the inside and everything, so. All right, what else we got here? What do we got to do? Oh, yes, we got to open up Chrome, I guess. TweetDeck and Jigsaw. There we go. And move out the TweetDeck. What the heck is Donald Trump tweeting about here? The three very weak and untalented late-night hosts are fighting over table scraps. Carson did a great job. It wasn't political. I don't know what they're going to do in 2024 when he's no longer president. Will be wacky in the unemployment line. Michael Loftus from Fox and Friends. Referring to when Donald Trump is no longer president, not when Carson is no longer president. But I do think that everybody loved Johnny Carson, didn't they? We all liked him. I liked him. Also, because so-called trading mentors teach fading tops and bottoms, right? I tell you what, I and I mean this is a terrible habit of mine, and I don't think that it's necessarily a profitable thing, but I really like trading at the top and the bottom. And some of my best trades have been going with the momentum at the top for new highs. And I always laugh when I hear people like in everyday life, and people are like, "Oh, trading, that's what's so hard, just to buy low and sell high." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Doesn't matter what you buy it at. As long as it's going higher. Buy high, sell higher. That's a great trade if the context is right." I think last year though, I took that when the context wasn't right too many times. But still, you get what I'm saying? Like, it can be a good trade. Anyways, place a 10 tick stop and a 30 tick profit target. You will do you will do fine. The 3-to-1 win loss ratio. I mean, technically, when I take them, those are my automatic placements, right? Oh, actually, it's not. I place a 4-tick stop and a 6-tick profit target. But I almost always move those, right? It's going to be interesting. Small fish need to get in the current and ride with the soul. I think that trend following is the way to do it for sure. What is wrong? What is wrong with my bird? I turned all the lights off. Why is he making noises? He sounds awfully upset. Okay, we got 1 minute warning. So just to reiterate here, we get import prices month over month. We're expecting 0.3, and unemployment claims we're expecting 225. Ride with the shoal. There you go. I was like, what's soul? Is that a new word? What else do we have on here? More amendments over in the UK. So I'm wondering, because the thing is I had a hard time determining when the news hit and everything, but I'm wondering, it was this big move going into the close yesterday in Treasuries. Was that because of Brexit? It was pretty wild. Move down. Thing is, we're getting this thing again where there's a lot of short-term things pushing treasuries up, like the auctions and Brexit volatility. And okay, here comes the numbers. Initial jobless claims, 229K versus an estimated 225K. So a little bit worse than expected. And import prices month over month was actually 0.6% versus an estimated 0.3%. That was import prices. Export prices was 0.6 versus an estimated 0.1. I can see oil kind of making a little turn there. But really what I want to see is, yes, okay. Currencies, if the JPY is moving, and it's moving down a little bit, actually. And so is the euro. British pound not reacting so much, but I like where 6J is for some more downsides, so. Not really a ton of reaction on it though, is there? Hmm. Well, I don't like that 1538 has gone into that now, and it's not going down. E-mini has moved a little bit. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. That's very interesting. I got in it, and then it ticks up and there's immediately 43.22 print on the bid. That's like immediately invalidating my trade. So we got to get out of this and just like take a step back here, because that is not what I was expecting at all. I'm quite confused by that. And I don't know if I'm gonna get another hit to get filled there. Hmm. Well, there's a pretty big offer too. Hmm. Well, nothing's selling into 23, but they built back a healthy offer there. It could be doing a head fake. I just want out either way. So I don't understand what's going on. Uptick. A couple hit into 24. And then yeah, look at all that at 23. I don't think that's gonna get filled. Sounds like there's still a lot more votes coming over in the UK, although I don't know if like the no I mean it sounds like the no deal Brexit thing is off the table. I don't know what these next set of votes are. It's like their legislative process is so confusing. Yeah. Man, they're really squeezing it, aren't they? Now bidding 7,000 at 23 half. That might just be squeezed to get out, but I don't know. At the high and everything, I think that there could be more on that. Hmm. Well, they hit it at 23.5. The other interesting thing is that as this has been happening, the E-mini is moving up. Okay. Still nobody willing to sell 23. The no deal vote was a farce. Legally, it's still an option. Well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it was like a non-binding resolution, right? But it was, they still made a big deal about it. Like, it sounds like that's going to have a lot of impact going for in the future. Like, like the chances that they extend the timeline and try and give themselves more time seems like much more likely. The problem though is like, to what end, you know? So they say we won't do a no deal Brexit. They delay it again. EU says that's still the best deal that we can give you. You know what I mean? Nothing changes. Import export prices surge in February but stagnate year over year. We get more time in Europe will have us over a barrel. Yeah. The whole thing is just mind-boggling to me. Like the thing that irks me the most about Brexit still, like literally every time that this comes up, this is what's going through my head. Is why don't you just give them a good deal? Like really, you're gonna risk a global recession over this fucking thing. Obviously, the UK is not happy with the deal that they got, and they refuse to try and do better. It's just mind-boggling to me. They're that stubborn. They're that the UK is that, or sorry, the European Union is that entrenched over it, you know? It's embarrassing the way our politicians are conducting themselves. Well, I kind of feel like that is just the way that the UK parliament system is set up, you know? The way that system works, I think, is kind of like it guarantees a circus. Because of the system of uh, internal rules that Congress and the Senate has in the United States kind of prevents that kind of level of circus from happening because you can't bring a vote to the floor like that, you know? And it's very rare nowadays that you go and have amendments made to things and have like 3 or 4 votes over these crazy things that are like just could completely change the meaning of the thing and stuff. I mean, it can happen, but it's just not very common. Even less common now that we've been gridlocked. But and then because it's based off of like a party gets in power and then they form the government and choose all the things and the prime minister and everything, because in our system you elect a president and he picks his cabinet and all of that sort of a thing. I think that's a much better system. And then the multiple parties thing is just ugh. Okay. So they did tick up there at 23.5. They're still holding it, and they actually took it there at 23.5 pretty aggressively. And I was able to flip and take my tick back, so I'm happy. I lost 3 on that one, so it's not too great, but this is still really strong pressure. Yeah, anyways, I think that when you have like 5 or 6 political parties, that just makes things worse. I think that obviously there's disadvantages with 2 political parties, and I understand why people in the United States would like third parties and everything. But I just don't think that people in the United States understand what it would actually be like if there was 3 or 4 parties. I don't think you actually want 3 or 4 parties. Arlene Foster says to get DUP to sign up, deal must show the constitutional integrity of the UK is the same and we have a strong say in the future. She's still setting conditions but sounding more open to budge. Remember, she's been seeing Varadkar in the last 24 hours. Our DUP on the move. DUP leader tells us they're in talks with government. We want to make sure we get there. And when you come to end of a negotiation, that's when you start to see the whites in people's eyes and you can get down to the point where you can make a deal. Well, now that's a lot going into 24. If these equities turn around and start selling here, which I think they might, I wonder if that's what treasuries are setting up for, because this buying pressure. Normally treasuries and the 6J are correlated. Normally, even all of the currencies really, they're usually correlated. And they're not moving correlated at the moment at all. 13,000 at 24. and they took those pretty aggressively too. There was some big buyers there. It does look like there's still some people willing to stick their neck out and stop it at 24 though. So this is where we have to consider maybe taking it off on that spot. But that's a lot. I mean, we did get through it, but nothing really traded at 24.5. They're able to take 23.5 offer really easily. It seems like the bid pressure is still there. With a 15K iceberg, you kind of have to wonder if some of this pressure down here was just to get filled. But it's still there, so let's see if they hit 24 again. You're just kind of waiting. Morning, 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 everybody. If deal passed by March 20th, then short extension. If no deal by March 20th, long extension needed. That goes offer 23.5 again. Not a strong offer. Bid at 23, holding. 5 years still kind of holding. Okay. So now it's starting to look like maybe a little bit of agreement at 23.5 because there's not strong offers or bids being placed at that price anymore. A little bit of absorption in the 5 year. It also looks like still strong pressure in the 30. But the E-mini did come back a little bit. UK government will seek new Brexit consensus if deal not passed. Great British pound corrects 50% of the huge gain, higher bounces. And I'm not exactly seeing that. I wonder, do I need to update? No. Well, offer getting a little stronger. Still not very many people selling into 23. 300 now. Okay. Hmm. Okay, well, that pulled. Couple sold into it. And then it built back up again. Perhaps a lure. They kind of like stacking and pulling a bunch there for some reason. That move also prompted a couple of buyers. Oh, okay. So they take a bid, not a strong bid, but and back down. My phone being weird. Could be selling equities. Looks like a poor case to me. Uninspiring. Calendar news flow with only possible balance sheet runoff striking to me seems to me today's only classic action with overnight high retest probably focus on next week meeting with yields under pressure. I should put in here, there was a 15K sell. Well, it seems to me like that the orders are selling it here at 23. The E-mini did sell down a little bit. I'm still wondering if I can do these stop limits like right there. If that'll work in the E-mini. They appear to be pushing. At this rate, Nigel Farage's Brexit march will come into Westminster just in time to celebrate the extension of Article 50. See, I don't like the way this is going in the E-mini. It's rotating here too much, and as soon as I stopped into it, it pretty much stopped right there. Got some news coming in here. Um, oh, Russian balance of trade. They might be waiting for the construction spending. Okay. 13 billion versus an its estimated 19.5 billion. Hmm. That order down at 13 is getting a little thicker. Hmm. Pulled it back off. Sneaky, sneaky, but I see you. JPY is still selling. Okay, so here comes the E-mini selling a little bit again. Are they able to take a little bit of a step further this time? Not yet. I'm gonna cancel that one in the treasuries because there just doesn't seem to be any reason for this to be moving. Hmm. A core group of around 20 hardline Brexiters is threatening to vote down Theresa May's deal for a third time next week and bring down her government at a confidence vote called by Jeremy Corbyn. Hmm. A little bit more forceful downtick there, but oh, there we go. Agree. 26-28 if bad, maybe even if okay. Hmm. All right, they did seem to like the construction or the housing numbers yesterday. So if construction spending is better than expected, I think that the equity market could be really happy. Look at that. All right, do go bid at 23 half. So this is kind of curious because they are holding a pretty good bid at 23 half, but there's still a lot of people selling it. Hmm. Treasury is so boring, Seth's playing with ES. Well, I feel like that the ES looks like a better trade right now. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's really true though. I mean, look, I got this little spot. It's holding. I'm getting, little pushes like that one. A little sweep lower. And it's just not really going. But the treasury trade I might turn around and get super FOMO about the treasury trade. Because they are holding through. I mean, there was a lot of selling there at 23.5. 8K sold. 8K sold 23.5, and it's still bid. Okay. So there was kind of what I was hoping to have happen. And it did happen as the E-mini started to drop. Not a whole lot of continuation yet. And there still seems to be some significant resistance in treasuries at 24. It still goes nowhere. There's a 2,000 in the bond is a lot. 2,000 in the bond is a lot. I think though we need to keep it in context still. Treasuries are actually pretty quiet. Some big block trades too, yeah. So their one was 1884. We're gonna minimize these. I don't see a big order per se, but lots of little ones. And there they do make it go bid at 24. So it kind of looks like I should have held. But I don't know. It's okay. I really didn't. The treasuries were really confusing to me at the time. They're still a little confusing to me. Like, I don't know if they're going to tick into 25 or not. The way that they've been going, they might not. And really, look at equities. You know, still holding there at 28.18. I can make the treasuries fall by buying 146. Oh, we're getting a little volume node here in the E-mini. Pushed it down, but not much of a reaction. Another push down. Okay. Hmm. So Uzi, did you really actually buy 146 even? Because it did. It has ticked down a tick. Well, you're getting a little bit of a pullback here in the E-mini. I think that if we see the selling accelerate, that we could see a stronger sell. Blaine, global assets. A bunch of stuff just come through. Mnuchin urges Congress to approve new deal with Canada and Mexico. They haven't approved that yet? What the fuck? That's not a headline that I like to see come across. Blaine, global reset looms as inequality bonfire burns out of control. And as we're doing that, a little bit of a pullback in the E-mini. Treasuries step back up to the actually a new high there. They did get a new high. Maybe they're going to run for a little bit now. Sure wish you had 23 now, don't you? Don't you, Seth? Mm-hmm. Yep. I wish I still had my buy at 23. Maybe I should have. No, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, we could have, if you had bought there at 146 even, that would have given them the support that they needed to push up into, 0102. We could have been in the bond. We could be at like 0304 by now. Bond is really lagging though, ain't it? We're getting some real steepening happening. Bidding 146. I don't think it's a bad trade because it's lagging more than spread could account for. These are pushing highs. E-mini is moving down. Hold it until 145.28. Look at that. Could have been 6 ticks in that thing. I'm wondering, equity is going to push for the low of the day. It's getting close. I think I should move this. And just watch it by hand if it gets to the 200 and starts doing something fishy. U.S. Minution asks lawmakers to raise debt limit soon. Supports a clean debt ceiling increase. $146.09 area. Well, so do you think that the ZN is going to go correspondingly up to like yesterday's high, like 29? Yeah. Well, that pivot yesterday was 09. They selling it over here. There is a link to watch Minution live, but I'm okay, I think. Yeah. Trump threatens to veto Senate measure overturning national border national emergency declaration. All right, Uzi got filled. All right, you're free to buy it now, guys. Giddy up. Let's buy 300 at 01. Have all of the offers at 02 pull. Come on. You know you want to. Okay, would have gotten filled at my 200. It looks like pressure is still fairly there. It does look like they're gonna want to make a at least an attempt at the low. 28 is the initial balance low. I think below that I won't want this. Yeah. That personally, for me, even if it got below the VWAP, I would be a little. Brexit. UK Cabinet Office Minister Lindington says a second referendum does not offer solution we need. Yeah. The risk window is relatively small, yeah. And honestly, you've got really good volume behind you. You know, there's a pretty decent buying up through there. You've had strong bids. It's still, it's still being. They're still having a hard time keeping it above 24.5 in ZN. But that's just like a two tick pullback. Trend's still intact. Yeah, but the best looking ones are the ones that fuck you. Yeah. The thing that I'm noticing that I don't like is it is a looks like a pretty good trend up so far, but it is a very slow mover. Like either way you slice it, you could be making money in this and still be super frustrated. I think that if I had kept that trade, that I would still be super frustrated right now. Because they came up there, they didn't really give you a super clear spot to sell, get out at 25, for instance. You'd probably still be holding it and thinking like, do I want to just take my +3 or what? Hmm. Ace thinks that she's headed to 2806.75. So I'd like to know, Ace. I took this, well, so I took it 2819.50, right? And that was kind of like we were up there at the top, and I thought if we get out of this tiny little range, then I want to stop in. I'm not so sure if that was like the best way to do it. I think that I really should have just said, no, if I want to be short, I can just sell it up here. I don't know if there was anything about that price that made it a good price to sell at. But I do like, the look at the low. It seems like they have a decent enough trend, and like all of the technicals are in line that we could potentially see a new low. It might not happen until after the open, of course, but yeah, I'm still in. 2819.50, right there. It was also kind of a weird one because I saw that it looked to me like the E-mini was gonna go short, and it looked to me like treasuries were being like really unclear to me. So I said, okay, let's leave these alone. And so far it's working pretty well. I hope y'all are right. I'd like to make ZB make 146.08. I don't know. Like I think he could get a new eye for sure. I don't know beyond that. that's about as far as I can look. It's just this thing here yesterday. I think over here. Okay. So here's my ZB chart, right? Point of control from yesterday was 146.04. So I think that there's a pretty high probability of seeing 146.04. So new high 146.04. 09 is the last pivot. That one's less likely to happen. I don't know how probable it is. Look at you go. Maybe tighten up your stops at the opening. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just take the 200 because 8 is what I'm going for. But it's just like I think that there might be some really strong selling on the open. So if I get a really good impulse, I think I just want to take it there. Well, that was a good little run right there. Like anything crazy, I think I want to take it off. But my initial target was just the 8 ticks. And I moved this to the low just in case. Okay. Just watch it is all I'm saying. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, E-mini is a real Well, I should at the very least, I should take that, right? Would be really dumb to have that much profit banked in and then not at least take a profit equal to what my risk was. I don't know. Treasuries still look good to go up. Like honestly, given what we've seen earlier this morning, 64 at the high of the day is nothing, you know? Just lock some in the basket. Yeah. Something that I find really frustrating over here in the E-mini is that like it can move, and I think that having like a trailing stop can be useful sometimes. But anytime that I try using the trailing stop, I find it annoying. That O2 looks intense. We cleared that. I'll feel better about it. Yeah, 1500 on there. Huh. Okay, so ZN is doing the level break thing. 5K at 25. And going into the E-mini open, that's curious. Okay, so initial impulse down. It wasn't a super strong one though. Okay, let's take that. Let's take that and just watch and see. I wanted to see like a really strong impulse, and it was a little bit flaky on me. Maybe I just got too nervous, but that wasn't what I was expecting to see on the open. Like they got their little bit of selling, and I thought that would cause more selling, and it didn't. In fact, counter move up now. Okay. So now I don't know what's gonna happen. It looks like buyers are willing to at least take it. Yeah, buyers are willing to at least take it in the E-mini, but I'm not sure which side is gonna win there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, wrong screen. No, I took it off. So you can see I just took the 8 ticks. Or not, sorry, it wasn't 8 ticks, it was 16 ticks. When I look at treasuries, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it could go up a little bit more. But then I think, oh yeah, I was long at 23. 10-year auction got more weight than 30-year auction on ZB. Tuesday was a 10-year auction. Yesterday was 30-year and moved only half the distance. Yes. Well, and again, this selling at the close in the treasuries. What was that? So I wasn't able to be like at a desk watching the tape and everything, so I don't know if that's when the Brexit vote came through or what the deal was, but that is just a very unusual move that late in the day for treasuries. A very unusual move. Mnuchin says he didn't receive request for Trump tax returns. Okay, so I wanted to take my goal has been I want to take one in the E-mini when it's quiet before the open. So I think they're kind of selling like right at the open. I think, or sorry, I guess buying by exiting right there at the open. I think that was about what my game plan was. Now I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. I think. We can maybe take a trade in treasuries if they give us a good price. I don't know if they're going to. It's just so tight. But then maybe after the 30 minutes, maybe we can take one. Well, now they're threatening to go lower. Yeah, ZB is coiling up. Look at the cumulative delta on that thing. Somebody bought a ton into treasuries here in this area. And now it's just kind of ranging around in this area. And I think that if they're able to get a new high, that ZB could really run. So there was another impulse of selling in the E-mini, and they haven't yet made much of a new low. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit. Oh my gosh! So you know what happened yesterday? So yesterday, I get home, and Beto O'Rourke has announced that he is running for president, which was kind of weird because I remember when he was running for Senate and like Reddit absolutely loved him and everything that he said was golden and he's such a great guy and all of these things, right? And you go and you read his thread, like the r/politics thread, only one real news story about it on Reddit, and it was like the most toxic comments I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. It seems to me like anybody that's like super politically active doesn't really like him anymore. I was like, yeah, okay, we pretended because we thought maybe you could beat Ted Cruz, and now that you're not, we just want you to go away. Which surprised me a little bit, but that was the attitude that I was seeing, at least from that segment of people, right? Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to get ripped to shreds now. Like he's in the arena. Well, I have to go post about this on Facebook, right? And Facebook was down. Can you believe that? Like Facebook is never down. How can Facebook be down? Just so weird, right? Anyone else have Ross Cameron from Warrior Trading reach out to them? I made a comment on his site and he has been chatting me up trying to sell me shiz. Well, I have never spoken to them, but those guys are super aggressive. They they pay for tons of ads on YouTube. If you like talk to them, like you get on their list for the emails, and they're like super aggressive. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram was down. Oh, really? Instagram was down too. I was really mad because like I tried to post, oh, beta work is gonna get destroyed, and then the application just said, oh, for some reason I can't post this, and I was like, oh, they're censoring my free speech. That's what I thought was that's what I thought was happening. But I get later I found out it was just down. Hmm. There is an unusual amount of balance here in the E-mini at the open. Certainly a lot more volume, but not a very clear impulse either way. And I think that for me, maybe you guys have a better edge that tells us what's going to happen. But I think that for me, this is like, I don't want to touch it. And I don't necessarily see a very clear, like, well, okay, I do see that we have a volume profile with a little bit of a hump here at the bottom. Whoever it is posing as Ross has been tweeting me since like 4. I just happened to be up. It has been weird. Leave me alone, dude. Go trade. Right? Dude, I get all sorts of weird people. I get all sorts of weird stuff once. So one of the ones that happened to me, I'll tell you about. Because this kind of pissed me off. But I didn't say anything at the time because I didn't. He was around, and I didn't want to cause like any what's drama or angst or anything. But what was his name? No. Oh man, that bird. That bird. There's just so many deleted users that message me with stupid spam and crap. Well, anyways. Oh, no, wait. I know. I can look it up here. So I sent a picture of it. Facebook is still being kind of flaky too, so that won't help either. So I sent my wife a private message about it at the time. Anyways, so I'm just minding my own business, right? And I get this message from some guy, and he's like, basically saying, "Oh, hey, we could get we could do a deal with you, like, if you support my exchange thing, I could give you your members a deal, and I could pay you money for people that get in on it." And like without even really looking at it, I just said I'm not interested because I'm not looking out to sell things to my community. And he's like, you can say that without even like knowing what it is that I'm going to offer or whatever. So then I go and I look up his name, and like the first result that comes up is the tradingschools.org article about him. And they didn't really do like a full investigation of his service, because what his exchange was essentially was CFDs. So it's basically a bucket shop, essentially. Like you're buying stocks, but you're not actually buying stocks. You're just buying contracts to buy stocks from other people. And they basically just, like trade against you and then wipe you out. Yeah, then was a pretty quick move down there. What was that? I wonder if the Treasuries are thinking maybe the E-mini's not going to go, because they did come down in quite a bit there, didn't they? But I think that this could like whip out either way really quickly. Anyways, I didn't respond back to him again because they said that he had been like caused drama with people and stuff like that, right? And then there's still the whole thing about this other guy with the YouTube channel. I forget his name. It just seems to me like I get if you trading is a business, and if you have a service that's worth selling, that you would sell it to people. For sure. Totally get that. You know, you have an indicator that's really good. You're really good at coaching people. You have a really good strategy that you believe is profitable, and you know that's worth a certain amount of money to people, for sure. But why would you, if that was really the case, why would you market it the way that these guys do? You know what I mean? Think about, you know, who's somebody that I think really knows what they're doing. Gary Norton. That is a guy with like some bona fide trading credentials, right? He traded for big firms. He's made some big money in the past. Couple of books. Don't necessarily know what he's trading right now or how well he's doing, but he has had some success in the past, and he will actually tutor you if you message him, and he'll charge you, and it's not cheap. But he's not out there like trying to get everybody in the world to come and learn from him. Not at all. It's like you have to go to him. And the guys that I have spoken to that did learn from him did fucking amazing after he taught them. So he's definitely got something, right? Like the one guy that I know of, he was the top person in the Jigsaw leaderboard for like 3 months in a row until they I think a firm came along and snatched him or something like that, because he doesn't even show up anymore. Right? He's not like aggressively marketing it to the world. I tell you what, you're on our Discord and somebody or YouTube, and somebody messages you out of the blue about some service or education or something, just delete it. Don't even fucking read it. It's useless. Worthless bullshit. Spend time making a site, worrying about collecting money, answering questions, tutoring people, and you have to be on your game every day up in front of a camera. Sounds like a job. No thanks. Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, like just streaming, you know, I guess streaming is okay. Like it's just time spent talking, trying to fill the time and talking to people and manage the community is not necessarily a trivial thing. The YouTube channel itself is a lot of work. I tell you what, some of those videos, the amount of time that I spent making those videos, especially the political ones I've been making every week about the Democrat nomination, a lot of work. Not worth what you get back from YouTube. Not worth what you get back from YouTube. And these guys, like the Axia guys, that they teach like actual classes and stuff. I think that some people have this idea in their head that you can just like, you just wing it. Nah, that's a hard job. That's kind of why People not happy with your trading room asking for refunds, trashing your name. Sounds like fun. Might as well go to barber school. So here's another completely separate thought, but that just kind of got me thinking on a tangent. Oh, by the way, the ZB really sold there. I hope that 1,000 was not you, Uzi. Massive pulling at 31. That really came down. That looked like a real reversal. Man, those birds are upset. Okay, anyways. So one of the things that I've thought about is like, okay, what if became a successful enough trader that I've paid off my house and I make more than enough trading to live on, and so I still only trade like the first 3 hours of the session or whatever. What do I do with the rest of my day? Oh yeah, Uzi did get out. What do you do with the rest of your day? And the dream has always been that I want an alpaca farm. Remember, we've talked about the alpaca farm before, right? You get a good tax break with alpacas. They're great animals. They're soft. I would like to have an alpaca farm. Now, I don't know how that's going to work because that would maybe mean having to move to a place where I can actually have alpacas, because the city ordinance doesn't allow me to do that on this type of land. And I really don't ever want to move away from this house. But, oh, there was a strong bid there in the E-mini. You could maybe buy that. I'm not going to. It's still within the 7:30 to 8 o'clock time frame, but let's see what happens. I'm just going to mark it here that it was how come my alert column's not working? Is that my alert column? I mean, that one works. How come that one don't work? Oh well. Monday, fly fishing. Tuesday, rock climbing. Wednesday, Habitat for Humanity. Thursday, yard day. Friday through Sunday, travel, sometimes locally, other times farther. That's what you do. Well, I tell you what, I would definitely fly a lot more because I can fly anywhere that I want for free. I really should do. I keep saying the problem is I still haven't worked out like where it would be, but like I would love to travel and meet some of you guys in person, you know. So I told you I'd make the treasuries fall. Good grief, it really fell, didn't it? Like that in the ZB in particular, that really fell apart. What do you think? I'm wondering if maybe somebody really was making a trade like the E-mini was gonna sell hard, and when the E-mini didn't just like immediately drop on the open, maybe they bailed. This is back to 23. I'm gonna wait. I want to see if they do something at 22. If I see something at 22, I may make a decision on treasuries. The thing is that selling was way more dramatic than all of the buying, wasn't it? I've seen that report at 9. Well, so I don't fly fish, so I think that would be really boring. Honestly, having an alpaca farm, like doing the manual labor on an alpaca farm, that might be really boring. Like I think that having alpacas in general would be nice, but I think that I would force the kids, you know, to take care. It'll teach you hard work, kids, taking care of the alpacas. But then here's my other thought: is I could own an esports team, and I could build, you know, a esports team facility for them on my property, or like they could live in the basement or something like that, you know, and the whole team would live there, and then they'd have joint quarters and a LAN center, and but you know, I think that if you're going to be, you know, a professional esports player, you got to have some balance in your life. So, you know, we'll make them lift weights to keep their nervous system good, their reflexes up, and then have them take care of the alpacas. And that can be their team mascot, right? But the other thought that I had, because you were talking about it, is like I should do something that I would like literally never do, like something that some people will dedicate their lives to, but that I would have like they would be incredibly bizarre for me, right? Like I could go to beauty school or something like that for for 6 months, and you pick up a new skill that's just incredibly off. You know what I mean? I think that would be funny. Not funny, but I think it would be interesting. Like it would be like a good conversation piece. Would help you understand a little bit more about the world. You know what I mean? That's just so I was thinking about that because they said you might as well go to barber school. Okay, so the E-mini, they take a jump there. They come back. I'm seeing some support. I think I could buy it at 28.16. Except for the time of day and everything. Okay, 5-minute warning for home sales month over month. We should definitely wait for that. Brexit. UK government will oppose all amendments to motion on extending Article 50 at vote tonight. Okay. Actor Jesse Smollett arrives at court for his hearing today. He's like got a nice jacket on and sunglasses. Oh, he looks like an idiot. Oh my gosh. You look like an idiot, Jesse. I think it's really unusual to see that much buying pressure in treasuries and then just have it like all of the sudden fall apart. And for that reason, just being conspiracy theory, like making a wild guess here, and not that it really matters, but that makes me think that it was somebody that we don't normally see in the treasury market trying to make a trade that didn't turn out. This is just really weird. UK opposition Labour Brexit spokesman Starmer says Labour will not be supporting Amendment H, which calls for a second referendum. Oh, I thought that Labour was all over the second referendum. Well, I don't think that one would pass anyways. Yeah, but he gets to keep his show, unlike Roseanne, them sweet lower standards for people who aren't. But they wrote him out of the season, didn't he? So I don't think that he really got to keep his show per se. That whole thing is super bizarre though. Like, I really don't understand the psychology of that. You know what I mean? So you really dislike the president and you were concerned about hate crime against African Americans, and so you fake a hate crime? Like, what is going through his head? Why would you, if you believed all that stuff, why would you need to fake a hate crime? Shouldn't you just be able to find, hate crimes to be concerned about and get involved in talking about or something, helping the victims and stuff. I don't. What? He's back on the show. What? Really? He's back on the show. That's Well, he's. I mean, I wonder what his. I mean, obvious. It looks like he's pretty much screwed. I mean, he's going to be found guilty on the charges, but what kind of a sentence does that sort of a thing actually have on it? I suspect that he might end up getting off pretty light, like maybe not even jail time. Bank of England's Haskell says falling business investment driven by prolonged economic uncertainty risks harming the UK's strong jobs market. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Alligator, yes. Surprised by speed, no fill at 26. Trying to get long at 26? I don't know. Thing is that we had this move, right? Move up. Didn't quite go. We're back to 23 where we started. Shouldn't it be going down through that now at this point? But it's not yet. 600 billion in Boeing 737 MAX orders at risk. Now that whole situation is crazy too. They are not telling us something about the Boeing 737 because every time that I go and read the articles, maybe you guys know something. Every time I read the articles, I don't see what the problem is. Like, what is it about the Boeing that they think is wrong and it needs to be grounded? And my wife was saying that there was a part in it that they thought was defective and they were supposed to turn off, but I guess that they didn't. I haven't read that anywhere on news sites. That's just like the rumor going around in the airline industry. Okay. January new home sales 607K versus 622 expected, so not quite as good as expected. And there was another number, wasn't there? I only see one here. Nope, it was just new home sales. 607 versus 622. So not a huge surprise. A tick up in treasuries. Equities kind of maybe threatening down again. Thinking about taking it long, but I'm not really necessarily getting the price that I want. Being a victim garners more social capital than helping victims. Freaking. I think this is something I was reading yesterday that I wasn't reading it was a YouTube video. There's some chick, I don't remember her name, but when I found her YouTube page, it had only been up for like a week or two. And she didn't really have a ton of followers. And I'm like, why is YouTube recommending that I watch this girl? So the whole thing seems kind of suspicious to me. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like she just is acting like she's just some girl that's just blogging, but I suspect that there's money behind her. And especially because of the topics that she talks about and what she says. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But she was complaining about Tinder. And she was saying that a lot of girls will date a guy on Tinder simply because they believe that dating this guy gives them more social capital. So, like, this guy is like famous on Instagram or something like that. They want to date him because they think that it gives them more, more social capital. It seems to me like this younger generation cares more about those things than past generations do, which is really bizarre. I would have thought that it would have been the opposite. I would have thought that this generation would have been like, oh, I ain't give a an F about what anybody thinks about me. I just want to do my own thing. That it doesn't appear to be the case. Hmm. Like it bounced off of that 23 real hard. But I'm still suspicious of it. And like the E-mini, well, so we have a little bit of a divergence here in the E-mini. I could try taking it short again. Think it might already be too late to get a good spot. Yeah, ZV didn't respond to the report at all, really, did it? None of them did. But they are buying through here, through this range. Since we bottomed out at 23, they've been buying, and it looks like they're going to make 24 half go bid here soon. I mean, the E-mini is really falling apart. Like, okay, so they just made a new swing low, and the cumulative delta hasn't equalized. So that trade that I sought to possibly go short was definitely a good trade. I think I saw it way too late. Because I think to have taken that one, I would have needed to have taken it at like right there, 28.15. So I was way too late. Way too late. That really fell apart. Excuse me. Labour is supporting a public vote on any Brexit deal that gets through, says UK opposition Labour Brexit spokesman Starmer. Stocks are open and trading near unchanged. Okay. Have you noticed that Forex, is it Forex Live that's always doing it? Well, in this instance is Forex Live. But you notice that some of these squawks, they'll come in and they'll say something like, stocks open lower or whatever the deal is. And then as soon as they say that, it's like you look at the actual market and it's already changed. You know what I mean? A little suspicious. Labour policy is to have an extension and then find a mechanism or process to establish the majority in Parliament for a way forward on Brexit. Okay, well, I think it was, who was it that was saying earlier that we could go to 2803? I think it was Ace. $28.0675. So there's still not quite down there. If I had held, though, that would have been great. Or if I'd been a little faster on the mouse. I could still try and take this as it's going down, but I think that I want to be more selective than that. Like, I think that if I started doing that I would start taking too many trades in the E-mini. Look at that, right back up to the high. Well, I think you could see a new high here in Treasuries really easily. I'm not so sure how I feel about it in ZN, but in ZB, I kind of still like it. I think he's still got a good spot, but ZB has been lagging. There must be a reason for that. Oh. Okay. So I got a block buy there at 26.5. I forgot that you guys can't hear that anymore. That 33, 37 there traded at 26.5. 10K. Yeah. I was thinking when I bought 26, I was thinking you could get a little bit of an extended run and that ZB could kind of come along, but then it was like ZB ticked up and there was the block buy, and I was like, because that always is the pause. There's always a pause when you get one of those. I wish that on this first one, or this second one, that I had been able to take the +2. I'd be equal. I'd feel a little bit better about my treasury trading today. But I've been up. I've been positive every day of the week in treasuries this week. So to take -2, I guess, is fine. It's fine. UK opposition Labour Brexit spokesman Starmer says Labour doesn't want to be involved in the European elections. Well, I tell you what, that ticked down at 26. So I made the right choice there. Not so sure this is something I want to be involved in anymore. I think I did okay. What do you guys think? IQ back to 00ZB. Man, it's a really, really rough resistance in ZB, isn't it? Anyways, so I'm going to generate my notes here since I'm out of everything. On the 15 and 30-minute charts, developing into a bullish engulfing pattern. I mean, you're getting some real steepening. So I think that ZB is lagging because of the steepener. Yeah. Alligator, yes. Hard to get in and out. Hopefully got this one. Yeah, ZB's still late. Yeah, I had fun today, guys. Even though I'm a little bummed that this trade in particular, this buy, this first one was wrong. I wish that had only been one tick. I really was trying to get out with one tick, and I didn't get filled. So maybe if I had been a little quicker on the draw there, and then this one, I think I could have made 3, maybe even 4 when I was kind of messing around with getting out and everything. But that one I should have kept. It could have been worth a lot more. I think getting out was the right thing. But then when it did move up, I probably should have gotten involved, and I just kind of stood there and watched it. And then same with this thing, could have gotten in early. So I could have potentially have made 8 ticks, you know, if I had been on the ball. But I caught a good trade in the E-mini, which, I've been having a really hard time with the E-mini so far. So I'm really happy about that. Anyways, so I'm going to mute the microphone here for a second while I post my crypto notes because I do have to take the kids to school again today. And I might have to do hair. So put in any of your closing comments if you have any right now while I am posting the notes. Well, and they're still having 26 go offer. Interesting. I'm wondering now, like the E-mini to me looks like that they could retrace a lot of yesterday's move. Not staying above 28.18, I think, is really negative. Um, but you know they could still eke it out in the end of the day, and then if they're able to close above 28.18 again, that would be like super great. But I think that we'd have to see how they're going to close out the week. I think you might, like what happens if all of the traders sell it on the close, get out like that. That's going to be tough trading tomorrow. I'm going to guess. Do we have news tomorrow? What do we got? Empire State Manufacturing Index. So we do, okay, Schultz job openings, preliminary University of Massachusetts inflation expectations. Okay. And then the week after that, there's the FOMC. So after that, though, is when it's kind of gets difficult, I think. So let's, and we might see Friday might be a little bit more difficult because of the FOMC coming up now. Like people probably want to get out, not have the weekend volatility, and see what happens. The FOMC meeting. It's going to be it's going to be a particularly interesting one, I think. Still a lot of questions. Anybody here using TT and experiencing connection issues? And Zerf saying he is. That's interesting. Investigating reports of downloading order book messages. Please contact Exchange to verify orders. Well, that's not good. That is an error that is not very common for any platform. Okay, well, guys, thank you for joining me today. I wish I could have done a better job for you guys today, but and sounds like couple of people had a few disappointing trades, unfortunately. But it's okay. Tomorrow's another day. It doesn't sound like the damage was too bad. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we have a good day tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin really came down there. What the hell? Right as soon as I posted, I said you should be careful about FOMOing. My message was you should be careful about FOMOing into any trends in Bitcoin. Talking about this trend higher that I thought had a possibility of retracing. And just here, just as we were talking, it just dumped like $50. The fuck? That's crazy, guys. Well, I'm glad I caught that one on video. And look at the futures sold it. Interesting. Is this sell coming? Could do. Could do. If there's a continuation of that thing, could be ugly. Contact your broker. Ah, I want to stay, but I should go, guys. I love you. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.